Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you all are having an amazing day today. It's Jackie again here from Thrift Avenue. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the best cross-listing tool for resellers. Now, before we get started, if you like this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Here on Vendoo's YouTube channel, we strive to give our audience everything they need to know about reselling. There are a ton of videos already uploaded for you to explore, so go ahead and give them a watch. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Of course, the best cross-listing tool for resellers is Vendoo. I absolutely love it. I recommend it 100% to every reseller who comes to me and asks what cross-listing service they should use. There are just so many different features about it that truly benefit me and make reselling so much easier, from the number of platforms you're able to cross-list to, all the way down to label management, things like that. There are just so many little things that build up and make Vendoo the best cross-listing service out there. So for starters, like I said, the number of platforms that you can cross-list to. You can cross-list up to 11 platforms while using Vendoo, and you can do it all within under 4 minutes of cross-listing. So I am currently on 10 of the 11 platforms. The only one I am currently not on is Shopify, but we will eventually be expanding our business into needing a Shopify. So it's great that it's already there and integrated for me with Vendoo once I am ready for that. But yeah, I can cross-list my listings using the Vendoo form, up to 10 of them, and it takes under 4 minutes. So it's so simple and easy. If you're not cross-listing to all of the platforms available to you on Vendoo, you really should be, because it's simple. You don't have to do anything really extra to do it, and it's already there for you. Now, not every single one of your items may be applicable for every marketplace. For example, Kitizen is mainly kids items, but you can list women's clothing on there as well. Grailed is only men's and women's wear. And then Vestiaire Collective is your more designer high-end brands. But if you have the ability to cross-list to them and you do have items that can be cross-listed to them, you definitely should, because it does take your reselling business to the next level when you have your items in front of as many people as possible with all of the different audiences that each platform has. So to continue on with that, I will say that the other great feature that they have is the ability to bulk delist and relist items. Now, when I first signed up for Vendoo, you could do 10 at a time, but now they have the ability to do up to 240 items at a time, which means I can set it and forget it. If you have a lot of inventory like I do, being able to bulk delist and relist up to 240 items is a game changer, because I can choose the items that I need to bulk delist and relist. I can click it and get it ready to go, and then I can walk away and go do whatever I want. I can, go take care of the kids. I can, go outside. I can leave the house even if I want to, while this is running in the background and Vendoo is doing my work for me. So I love that feature. And it gives me the ability to do more with my time instead of having to sit there and manually delist and relist it myself. So it's just an incredible feature. And to go along with that, you can choose which platforms you want to delist and relist from. So for example, with eBay, they auto-renew your listing every 30 days. I choose to do it with Vendoo, so that way it becomes a new listing, because when eBay auto-renews it, it doesn't get a new item ID. It doesn't become a new listing. It just refreshes so that it becomes it refreshes so that it stays an active listing. With Poshmark, I drop items to final price on closet clear out days. So the next day I will go in and relist just those items just on Poshmark. So you can choose which platforms you want to bulk delist and relist from, or you can just click the select all button and then you're delisting and relisting them to all of the platforms that they are on. So I love that feature as well. And the nice part about the bulk delist and relist function with setting it and forgetting it is, if you come back and if it errored out, Vendoo is going to tell you specifically why it errored out. For me, the only time it typically errors out is Grailed, if I forgot to go in and edit the title to be less than 60 characters, because I always forget Grailed is only up to 60 characters, not 80 like the other platforms. Or with Poshmark, if it has an offer on it, it can't auto delist, although that is a new feature that they just announced that now they will be able to delist from Poshmark even if there is an active offer. So I'm excited to see that feature in motion. Or if it, like with Mercari, sometimes their shipping labels have been changing quite a bit on what they have and don't have. So sometimes that'll be the reason I just have to go in and edit that quickly. But it's so nice that it has the ability to tell you why it errored out, so you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. And all you have to do is click it from that list and it'll open up in a new tab for you, so you're not losing your spot where you're on that tab. It opens up in a new tab so you can fix it and then go ahead and retry it with the errors. So I love that feature too, because again, I'm not trying to have to guess, well, why did it error out? Sometimes it's my internet's being funky and it just had a connection error and I just have to click retry and then it'll automatically delist and relist once I retry it. So again, it's just an incredible feature that really has Vendoo working your business for you that I love. Which brings me into the next feature that I love about Vendoo as well, which is the stale listings notification that you can set up within your settings. This is how I know when it's time to bulk delist and relist items. You can choose 30, 60, or 90 days. And basically what will happen is once that item is listed or relisted, once it gets past the whatever time frame you set, a little yellow flag will show up not only on the listing itself, but also on each platform that it is applicable for. And then you'll know, okay, these ones have been listed for 30, 60, 90 days. It's time to delist and relist them because they have gone stale. I used to try to keep track of this manually. It was a nightmare. I would forget to mark the days that I listed, so then I was trying to guess, and then I wouldn't go back and look. I was trying to manually count the days. It was a nightmare. I love the notification setting because then I know, okay, these are what I need to focus on. And on top of that, you can also sort your inventory by stalest. So if you're like me and you don't always get to those listings right away on the 30-day mark or the 60-day mark or whatever you set, then you know, okay, these ones are the stalest. I should focus on these before I focus on the ones that maybe aren't quite so stale. So I love that feature. It's incredible. It simplifies things for me and I know what stale items to focus on first. So now to continue on with the theme that Vendoo works for me is Vendoo's auto sale detect feature. They can auto detect sales on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop, which means when a sale comes in, especially if I'm sleeping already, if the sale comes in, they're going to automatically delist that item for me because it detects that sale. So when I wake up in the morning, all I have to do is enter in my sale details and I don't have to worry that it's still listed on other platforms. So I love that feature, especially because, you know, I'm on the East Coast, which means sometimes sales do come in after I go to bed because the West Coast is still awake and maybe still shopping. So it means I don't have to worry about something selling on multiple platforms overnight, or, you know, if I'm busy during the day and not really having the ability to pay much attention to what is selling and what's not, Vendoo is going to cover that for me. And I absolutely love that. So now the other thing that I love about Vendoo is the fact that they have a mobile app, which means I can work on the go and I don't have to pack my clunky laptop to go with me. So, you know, we're often gone for the day with the kids, or, you know, we're on vacation, or, you know, we're doing things where the wanting to have to pack my laptop just is not applicable. So I should be able to work from my phone or my iPad with Vendoo is incredible because I don't have to put anything on hold. I can still work from my mobile device, which I do love, especially when sales come in. I can enter in those details right from my phone. I don't have to wait till I get home. And the other thing that's nice about it too is, you know, Play does all of the takes all of the pictures for our listings. So he'll take pictures and then on his lunch break at work, he will work on putting them into Photo Room, getting them getting them set up with Photo Room, and then he will upload them into Vendoo from his phone, so he doesn't have to transfer those photos onto a USB or whatever and move them into the computer and then into Vendoo. No, he can do it straight into Vendoo from his phone, which I absolutely love, because then when I'm home, I can pull up and see, okay, here's the photos he's uploaded. Then I can go ahead and either list them straight from Vendoo using my app or the computer, or, you know, if I have to draft those items, I can. So I do love that feature that it has an app, so you don't have to just work on it while you're at home. Now, to tie into that is the ability to remove the background on your photos powered by Photo Room with Vendoo. Now, We choose personally for our business to remove the background and use a simplified background on all of our photos. So we do have a photo room subscription for ourselves. But the nice part about Vendoo is if you just want your cover photo to have a simple background, you can do it straight in Vendoo just by removing the background, editing it a little bit within Vendoo, and then you have a better cover photo. Now, on all of our older listings where I'm not taking new photos of, where we didn't have photo room yet, that is what I'm doing. I'm removing the background and maybe editing the lighting just a little bit to really show off that item. And then I can do that right within Vendoo. I don't have to try to save that photo and then upload it into photo room and then re-upload it into Vendoo. No, I can do it all right there. And I know I've brought up these Calvin Klein flats a lot, but that feature is what really sold those Calvin Klein flats. Not only the fact that I delisted them and relisted them, but also I took the time to remove the background. Now, they were cream color, so I believe that the background that I originally had for it really wasn't showcasing the color very well. So with Vendoo, I removed that background of the cover photo, lightened it up just a tad so that you could really see the color of those flats, and then that's when I relisted it. So to have that feature is incredible. You don't have to have a photo room subscription if you don't want to. You can just do it straight within Vendoo, and I do love that. It just makes it a lot easier to really make sure that your cover photo is drawing people in to look at your listing. So now the next feature that I really love about Vendoo and why I believe it is the best cross-listing tool for resellers is actually one that I don't know if all Vendoo users actually know about. It is their template feature. Now, when I first signed up for Vendoo, I did not think I needed to use templates. I had so many excuses as to why I didn't. I thought I knew what I was doing. Each item is different, blah, 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 all of those excuses. But I soon realized templates are so important because it saves you time. Even if it just saves you some time typing, the more time you save by using templates, the more drafts you can get out, which is important for me. As a mom of two, I only have certain time blocks that I can get work done. So if I can get more work done in that time than before, I want all of the time saving measures that I can have. So I use templates as much as possible. For example, the newest template that we just created was for vintage men's ties. We found a bunch of them, so we're trying to get them listed. And instead of having to type the same thing over and over and over again, I typed it once, created a template, and we were able to draft 12 men's silk ties within like 10 minutes because it was so simple. I had the category of vintage ties already imported for me. I had the tags of vintage and everything else that I wanted that was applicable to ties already in there. So I believe I had vintage, corp core, and classic already in there so that I could just add a couple more tags that I wanted. I already had the fabric content included because all of them were 100% silk. So everything was already in there. So all I had to do was put in the brand, put in the colors, and if there were any other features that I wanted to point out specifically about that specific tie. So it saved me so much time. And to be able to draft 12 within like 10 minutes is incredible. I mean, that's one in less than a minute that I was doing because of templates. So I do really love that feature. One of my oldest templates is women's jeans because I learned, and actually women's jeans is the first template, like I said, the first template I ever created because that was when I first realized like, oh, actually I really could use this function. Because I know for women's jeans, the thing that I'm always going to mention is that they're denim, that they are a 5-pocket styling, and that they are a zip fly and button closure. Now, sometimes obviously they may not always have 5 pockets, or they may not always, sometimes they're a button fly. I do adjust that as needed, but I would say about 90 to 95% of my jeans fall within that category. So if I can save time typing that, I might as well. And then also in that template, it says waist, inseam, rise, and leg opening, which means that's already typed for me. All I have to do is input the measurements that alongside that, and then it's ready to go. And so I love that because again, I'm saving time typing, I'm saving time with these templates, so I can knock out more in a certain amount of time. So to go along with templates is the fact that with Vendoo, you can have unlimited drafts. Again, I am a mom of 2, which means I don't always have time every single day to draft and list items. So therefore, to be able to bulk draft and have them just sit there and ready for me to go when I'm ready to list them, I love that feature because before, when I was trying to do it on Poshmark, I was limited to 50 at a time, which means once I had 50 drafts, I couldn't do any more. And I was trying to draft them in like Word so they were ready to go when I had the ability to upload another draft. But with Vendoo, I don't have to do that. I can have as many drafts as I want within Vendoo. At one point, I had over 300. Now, a lot of those were older listings that I pulled down that I knew that I needed to rework and get new pictures of. So that's kind of where most of those came from. But I will say at one point we had, I think, 80 drafts just ready to go for when I was ready to list. Because I usually list between 3 to 6 new items a day with the inventory that we have. So to have those already made and ready to go means I don't have to worry about doing it every single day, especially because, again, I don't always have the time to do it every single day. So I do love that you can have unlimited drafts inside of Vendoo so that, yes, if you need to do more one day or not, then another day, you have that ability to, and you don't have to worry about running out of drafts. So now another feature with Vendoo that really makes reselling a lot simpler, especially with cross-listing, is the label manager tool. Now, it's one of those tools that seems so simple, but it does so much. So I know a lot of different users use it for different reasons. For us personally, we use it to help track our inventory. Now, before I was trying to track our inventory in an Excel spreadsheet. The problem with that was sometimes I wasn't noticing when I was accidentally bumping the keyboard. So we'd go to see where something was located at, and it would be like L/?, and you're like, okay, what happened there? So with Vendoo, you can have up to 200 custom labels. So basically, our labels are numbers that correspond with our numbers of our banker's boxes of which our items are in, or we've got like a shoe rack, so it'll say shoe rack, or if something is hanging up, like our dresses and our longer coats and things like that are hanging up in a spot in our workshop. So it'll say, hanging up, so that way we know exactly where to look for it and find it. And that has simplified our inventory management system because we're not trying to, second guess where things are. We're not, again, with the Excel spreadsheet, we're not accidentally bumping something and changing the label on it. So we're not going, okay, well, now we have to try to guess which box it's in, and we're not having to go through every single box to try to find this item. So I love that feature for that ability. Now we do use the labels for other things as well, because since you can have up to 200, you can have multi-functions for it. So for example, we do have 2 Poshmark closets that we got approved for because we do have probably a little bit too much inventory than we really should have, but we're trying to dwindle that down. So Clay has a closet as well. So anything that goes in his closet, I am marking, with his username so that I know when I go to bulk delist and relist, hey, this is with his username. So I need to swap my Poshmark closets out before I try to delist it, because otherwise I'm going to get that notification that says we don't have permission to if I'm still logged into mine personally and I'm trying to delist one of his items. So I love it for that feature too, because that saves me time, because otherwise I'm not setting it to bulk delist and relist and come back and going, ugh, now I have to redo it because I wasn't paying attention. So I love that, the ability to label my items to know exactly where an item is, what exactly this item is, or what closet this item is in, so that it saves me time as well. So another kind of unique feature that we use the label manager for our business personally is about a year ago, we got a huge donation from our local church of inventory that we listed and have been reselling. And we have a label that lets us know that this item came from that donation, so that when we sell that item, we use a portion of our profit to donate back to the church. So it's really cool that you can use the label manager for really anything that you want. I know back when we did commission, we would use, we would label all of our items that were commission pieces so that we knew. So there's just a ton of uses for the labels, and it's just an incredible feature that really takes your reselling business to the next level. So now I probably should have talked about this feature in the beginning, because it is super important if you're just getting started with Vendoo, or you're not ready in Vendoo, but you're about to, is the fact that you can import your listings from current platforms. So when I first started Vendoo, the first thing that I did was import all of my listings from Poshmark, because the majority of my items were on Poshmark. So I was able to import them all in straight from there into my Vendoo. So I didn't have to create a whole new thing. I didn't have to take new pictures or anything. It pulled in all my pictures, all of my descriptions, all of my tags, any information that I had in Poshmark. It pulled it in already for me. So I loved that feature. And then I also had some things that were just on Mercari, or just on eBay. So I was able to import from those as well. So you don't have to just pick one platform to import from. You can import from whichever ones you need to. So I loved that because it didn't box me into just my listings on Poshmark, where then I had to go and find the ones that were only on Mercari and then remake those. I could just pull them all in. And the nice part about it too is really you can do it any way. You can take those listings that are duplicated on Mercari or eBay or your other platforms and just copy the URL and copy them in. Or what I chose to do, because for me, I don't know, it seemed simpler at the time. I don't know if it actually was at the time, but as I was delisting and relisting from Poshmark and I was cross-listing them to all of the other platforms, I would look up the item on Mercari and eBay and then just delete it that if it wasn't connected to Vendoo. So I do love the ability to import because, again, if you're just getting started, you don't want to have to create all of those listings over again, especially if you have a lot of inventory. So it is a great feature that Vendoo has. So what else makes Vendoo the best cross-listing tool for resellers? And that is their analytics. The analytics that Vendoo gives you is so crazy good. Like, I love checking the analytics out. Sometimes I just check it out just for fun because it's just the information that they give you. It's amazing. You can compare your quarters. You can compare year to date. You can compare by month. You can compare by week, by day. It is so incredible. So a lot of times I will kind of compare by day just to kind of see like, hey, how is today shaping out compared to yesterday? You can do the last 7 days, you can do the last month, you can do year to date or custom, which is how I view my quarters, as well as sometimes I want to see a specific time period. Not necessarily like quarterly or anything like that. And the best part about it is whatever you choose, it's going to compare to the prior dates. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. So like quarterly, if I'm looking at Q3, I want to see what my data was for Q3. When you look at what it compares it to, it's going to compare it to Q2. So if you're looking at a 3-month span, it's going to compare it to the 3-month span prior to the beginning date. So like January, February, March, it's going to be compared to April, May, June, and so forth. Or well, April, May, June is going to be compared to January, February, March, but you get what I'm talking about. So, and I love that because then I can see, especially quarterly, I can see which quarter was better. Was Q3 better than Q2? Was Q2 better than Q1? And I like looking at that because it helps me know, especially on a monthly basis. I would say monthly is probably what I look at the most. I can see, okay, is September shaping out to be better than August? Is August shaping out to be better than July? So looking at those, and it helps me decide if I'm on track to hit my monetary goals. It helps me see where I'm at currently in my business. Is there anything that I need to do adjust to maybe perform better? Am I doing the right things to perform right where I want to be performing? So that I really do love that feature about Vendoo because you need to understand your data in order to drive your business forward, in order to build it from where it's currently at. And along with not only just seeing the monetary side of things, it's also going to show you your top categories and your top brands, which I personally love because sometimes we're taking chances on some brands and we want to kind of see how it's performing. And if it's not hitting in those top categories, we may decide, okay, maybe we hold off on picking up more of this until it kind of performs a little bit better, or something along those lines, or like certain categories. Like, we mainly do resell clothing. We are in some housewares and some stuff like that, but we know that that's really not our top seller. So we're not going to go out of our way to buy those items. But if we find something that we think is really unique or that will sell well, we'll still pick it up. But we know based on our analytics that housewares and electronics and things like that just aren't our top selling categories. And then with brands, Levi's pops up in our top selling brands almost every single month. I'm pretty sure it is every single month. I'm just not 100% sure, so I'm going to say almost. So we know that we can continue to pick up Levi's as long as we can still get it at a good price because it's one of our bread and butter brands. We know we can pick it up, we can resell it and make profit on it. So I love being able to see that because, again, it helps you know what to do for your business, especially if you're trying to venture out into different things. You can kind of see how it performs. And as well as in analytics, it also gives you a pie chart that shows you where how each platform is performing. And I love that because I have seen my pie chart slowly grow in color since using Vendoo. So when I first started using Vendoo, it was mainly the Poshmark color because Poshmark was my top selling platform. And then it slowly got a little bit more blue as Mercari and eBay started to become more and more successful with using by cross-listing through Vendoo. And now it is super colorful with all of the platforms that have popped up. Last month we had every single platform with the exception of Citizen on our little pie chart because Citizen is relatively new. I've just started cross-listing to Citizen. So that is why it didn't pop up. But I mean, we had a little stripe of yellow because we did actually make a Whatnot sale from their marketplace. So a buy it now option, which was really cool, especially because Whatnot is one of the newest integrations with Vendoo. But yeah, we had every color going on. And so I love being able to see that too, because then I can kind of see my top performing platforms as well to know, where we're making the most money at. And it's really been really cool to see too how like eBay has started to really compete with Poshmark, where we've eBay's almost taken over as our top performing platform. So I just love that feature because once again, as a reseller, you need to understand your data and where your money's coming from to really truly understand your business and grow your business. So yeah, it's just a great feature that really makes cross-listing, I feel like, more effective because you can see, again, you can kind of see where you need to really focus your attention on. Now, to wrap this all up, because if I'm being honest, I could go on for hours about everything that I love about Vendoo with every little feature that they have. And I'm sure I've probably missed some really good features that Vendoo has. I really wanted to talk about some of my absolute favorites, but again, I could go on for hours and hours if you all would let me on what I love about Vendoo, but we're going to try not to do that. So to wrap it all up with the last thing as to why Vendoo is the best cross-listing tool for resellers, that is just its user friendliness. And I feel like that summarizes everything that I was just talking about very well. It is so user friendly. It is easy to use. It is easy to look at. It is not confusing at all. Anything that you may need help on, Vendoo's got you covered with either an article or a YouTube video or some kind of resource that is going to help you understand Vendoo better. And not only Vendoo better, but all of the platforms better too. They have articles and videos on, what to sell on Depop, what to sell on Poshmark, what to sell on eBay, like just so many resources at your fingertips that makes it so customer focused, so reseller focused that you know that you are getting the absolute best for what you are investing into Vendoo because you are getting so much at your fingertips to help you really grow your reselling business. And I absolutely love all of the resources. I would not have ventured in to Grailed or Vestiaire Collective when I did had I not been able to have that kind of resource at my fingertips, because I didn't think I had any of the brands that belonged on Vestiaire Collective until I read what should you put on there, like what is Vestiaire Collective and how should you properly use it. And after I read that, I went, oh, I actually do have some stuff that can go on there. And that's when I started cross-listing onto there. And I've made 2 sales so far because I cross-listed, and that would not have happened that would not have happened had it not been for Vendoo. So I do love all of the resources that Vendoo has available for you as well to make it more user-friendly. And to top all of that as well, their customer service is absolutely amazing. I have never had a bad experience with Vendoo's customer service. And a lot of times they're on top of things before you even know about a bug or anything like that. And I love that they notify you. There's times where I log into Vendoo and it'll be like a banner at the top that says, hey, like, here's a known issue. We're currently working on it. We will notify you when that is fixed. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I just logged in this morning and they already know, they're already working on it. And then usually later that day, the banner pops up saying, hey, just let you guys all know, like, this bug has been fixed. So I love that they are so communicative. They are typically always on top of things, and they get on fixes right away. And again, every time I've talked to customer service, they're always just so kind and so friendly and knowledgeable. And it's always just a great experience for me. So I just feel like Vendoo is just so customer focused that the experience with working with Vendoo just is one of the main, one of the top reasons why I feel like it is the best cross-listing tool for resellers. It has just made my reselling business a lot simpler and easy, and it's really truly the reason why my business has been able to grow as much as it has. I don't know what my business would look like without Vendoo. I don't even want to think about it because that's a scary thought, but it really truly has grown my business and made cross-listing not a chore. You know, it doesn't feel like a chore to cross-list, especially because, like I said, you can cross-list to up to 11 platforms in under 4 minutes. And so I can cross-list and it be done I don't have to worry about it. So just, again, absolutely love Vendoo. It is the best cross-listing tool for resellers. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some great information out from it. Once again, if you like it, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, have a great day.